You picked up your phone, intending to check one thing. 45 minutes disappeared. And almost nobody asks the more important question. Who decided what happened during those 45 minutes? Nothing dramatic happened to keep you there. You just stayed. And here's what most people never realize. This isn't just about losing time. It's about losing ownership of your own mind. Because every time you scroll, you're not just consuming information. You're being taught what to think about, what to desire, what to fear, until one day, thoughts that never began with you feel completely your own. This isn't a failure of your willpower. It's the result of engineering. Precise, carefully researched, enormously expensive engineering, designed specifically around the architecture of your brain. And it doesn't just steal your time. It quietly begins rewriting the person doing the scrolling. This isn't a new discovery. We've understood the mechanism for nearly a century. In the 1930s, psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered something that changed everything. Pigeons in his experiments pulled a lever for food. When food came every single time, they pulled it occasionally. But when the reward became unpredictable, sometimes yes, sometimes no, sometimes nothing at all, they pulled the lever obsessively. Uncertainty creates compulsion. Your feed is that lever. Every swipe might bring something fascinating, or upsetting, or inspiring, or nothing. The unpredictability isn't an accident, it's the mechanism. A recent analysis of nearly 100,000 people found consistent evidence that algorithm-driven content measurably reduces attention, increases anxiety, and erodes the ability to think deeply over time. You're not weak, you're up against science. Losing time is not the real problem. The real problem is far quieter. The algorithm doesn't simply learn your preferences. Eventually, your preferences begin learning from the algorithm. What you notice, what you admire, what makes you angry, what feels normal. None of it changes overnight. It changes one recommendation at a time. Every piece of content it surfaces quietly answers questions you never consciously asked. What is worth wanting? What success should look like? What beauty should look like? Who deserves your attention? Which strangers deserve your anger? What kind of life is worth chasing? You rarely notice it happening, but every answer becomes another thought that feels like it came from you. Researchers found that users form a persistent scrolling habit after approximately 260 videos. After that, the behavior operates largely below conscious decision-making. And with prolonged use, the brain's capacity for sustained focus, for sitting with complexity, for tolerating boredom long enough to create something, measurably shrinks. You're not just losing hours, you're slowly becoming the person your feed predicts you'll become. And the frightening part is, it begins to feel like your own choice. The most powerful ideas aren't the ones that convince you. They're the ones that make you believe you came up with them yourself. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus had an image for this. Guard the entrance to your mind, he said, the way a city guards its gates. Not everything that arrives deserves to enter. And a mind that lets everything in is a mind with no self left inside it. The Buddhist concept of sati, deliberate, mindful attention, is the same practice in a different form. The conscious choice of what you give your mind to. Because attention is not just time. Attention is identity. Every belief, every ambition, every opinion began as something that first entered your attention. The mind cannot think without first receiving something to think about. The question was never really about screen time. It was always about sovereignty. Here is your practice this week. For one morning, just one, don't open any feed until you have done one thing that was entirely your own choice. Before you consume, create. Read a page. Write a sentence. Sit in silence. Move your body. Do something that no algorithm chose for you. Before the feed decides what your day is about, just one morning, notice what comes back. Because here is the last question. If your feed disappeared tomorrow, would you still know which thoughts were truly yours?